I don't understand anymore. I wake up early. I work hard every single day. I do everything I'm supposed to do, yet my life keeps getting worse and I keep falling sick. Relax. By the end of this conversation, you will understand the real problem.
Imagine a world where a very small group of people controls most of the wealth on earth. Right now, about 4% of the global population controls nearly 60% of the world's wealth, and the remaining 96% of humanity is left competing for the other 40%. Think about that for a moment. Billions of people wake up every morning. They go to work. They struggle. They sacrifice. Yet, most of them will never experience real financial freedom. So the question becomes, why? Is it because the wealthy are simply more intelligent? Is it because they were lucky? Or is there something deeper happening that most people never see? Because when you look closely, you begin to notice something strange. The people who build wealth often seem to follow a completely different set of rules. Rules about money, rules about time, rules about health, rules about discipline, rules that most people are never taught in school. And when those rules are ignored, something dangerous happens. People work harder and harder every year, but their lives do not truly improve. They remain stuck in the same cycle for decades, and by the time they finally realize what went wrong, much of their time is already gone. But here is the truth. This is not just a story about money. There is a powerful connection between health, habit, and wealth. And when that connection is broken, people slowly drift into a life of stress, exhaustion, and financial struggle. In this video, we are going to explore why many people will never become rich. Not because they lack potentials, not because they lack intelligence, but because they fall into patterns that quietly destroy both their financial future and their health. Later in this video, I will reveal 7 traps that keep millions of people stuck in the same financial cycle for decades. But before we get to those traps, we need to understand how the cycle begins. Here is the illusion many people live in. From a young age, society gives us a very simple formula for success. Go to school, study hard, get a good job, work harder for many years, save money, retire someday. For many decades, this formula worked reasonably well, but the world has changed dramatically. The cost of living has increased, healthcare expenses have exploded, housing prices have skyrocketed in many parts of the world, and yet many people are still following the exact same path that was designed for a completely different era. So what happens? People spend years doing everything they were told to do, yet they still feel financially stuck. They are working harder than ever, but the results do not match the effort, and this creates something extremely dangerous: the illusion of progress. People feel busy, they feel productive, but financially, they are barely moving forward. And over time, this slowly leads to frustration, stress, and exhaustion. But there is another piece to this puzzle that is rarely discussed, and that is the connection between health and wealth. The health and wealth connection. Most people think wealth is only about money, but in reality, wealth is deeply connected to health. Think about it. When a person's health begins to decline, their energy levels drop, their ability to focus decreases, their productivity suffers, and suddenly, the task that once felt manageable begins to feel overwhelming. Now, imagine trying to build a business, learn new financial skills, or pursue opportunities while constantly feeling exhausted or unwell. It becomes extremely difficult. Poor health slowly drains three very important resources, which are time, energy, and money. When poor health sets in, medical bills increases, productivity decreases, stress begins to build, and stress itself becomes a major health risk. This creates a dangerous cycle. Poor health leads to financial strain. Financial strain creates stress. Stress damages health even further. And before long, a person finds themselves trapped in a cycle that becomes harder and harder to escape. But the consequences of this cycle go even deeper. The consequences of financial struggle. When someone spends decades trapped in unhealthy financial patterns, the consequences can be devastating. The first consequences is constant stress. Many people live with the ongoing pressure of bills, debts, and financial uncertainty. The second consequences is limited freedom. When money is always tight, people often feel forced to accept jobs or situations they do not truly enjoy. Dreams get postponed, opportunities are ignored, and the freedom to choose how one spends their time becomes very limited. The third consequence is lost time. Years pass by, and before many people realize it, decades have gone by. They worked hard, they sacrificed, but the financial independence they hoped for never truly arrived. And this leads to one of the most painful realizations many people experience later in life. They realize that hard work alone was not enough. Sometimes, experts study these problems closely. They begin to notice patterns, certain behaviors, certain habits, certain ways of thinking, patterns that appear again and again among people who remain financially stuck. These patterns eventually reveal something important. They are specific traps that quietly prevent millions of people from ever building real wealth. Let's begin with the first one. Trap 1. Lack of financial education. One of the biggest reasons many people never become wealthy is surprisingly simple. They were never taught how money actually works. Most schools teach mathematics, science, and history, but very few teach practical financial skills such as investing, asset building, or long-term wealth planning. As a result, many people enter adulthood without understanding the basic principles of money. They may earn income, but they do not know how to grow it. They may save money, but they do not know how to invest it effectively. And over time, this lack of financial knowledge can lead to poor decisions, high interest debt, risky investments, or missed opportunities that could have transformed their financial future. Trap 2. Living only for today. Another trap that keeps many people financially stuck is the habit of focusing only on the present moment. Modern society constantly encourages consumption, new gadgets, luxury experiences, status symbols. Social media often amplifies this pressure. People feel the need to appear successful even when their finances are fragile. And small daily spending habits, what seems insignificant today, can become enormous over decades. Money that could have been invested for the future is instead spent on short-term pleasure. And slowly, the opportunity to build wealth slips away. Trap 3. Neglecting health. This is where the connection between health and wealth becomes extremely important. Many people pursue financial success while ignoring their physical and mental well-being. They sacrifice sleep, they skip exercises, they eat poorly. At first, the effect may seem small, but over time, the body begins to pay the price. Fatigue increases, stress accumulates, medical problems may appear, and suddenly, the energy needed to pursue financial opportunities is no longer there. Health is not just a personal issue, it is also an economic advantage. A healthy body supports a productive mind, and a productive mind is far more capable of building wealth. Trap 4. Fear of opportunity. Another reason many people never become rich is fear. Fear of failure, fear of losing money, fear of stepping outside familiar routines. Because of this fear, many people avoid exploring new opportunities. They hesitate to invest. They hesitate to start businesses. They hesitate to learn new skills that could increase their income. Over time, these missed opportunities accumulate, and what could have been a path to growth becomes a lifetime of caution and regret. Trap 5. Negative environment. Human beings are strongly influenced by the people around them. If someone spends most of their time around individuals who complain, avoid responsibility, or lack ambition, that environment can quietly shape their mindset. But when someone surrounds themselves with people who value learning, discipline, and growth, something powerful happens. Motivation increases, ideas expand, and possibilities begins to appear where none existed before. Environment often determines direction. In conclusion, at the beginning of this video, we asked an important question. Why does such a percentage of people control so much of the world's wealth? The answer is not simple, but it often comes down to habits. Habits with money, habits with health, habits with time. When these habits are aligned with growth, people gradually build freedom. But when they are ignored, the cycle of financial struggle continues. The good news is that every person has the ability to begin changing those habits today, because the future you experience tomorrow is shaped by the decisions you make right now. If this video helped you see money and health from a new perspective, consider subscribing to Evergreen Health and Wealth. On this channel, we explore the ideas, habits, and strategies that help people build stronger health, stronger finances, and a more meaningful life. And remember this, money can improve life, but true wealth is having both the health and the freedom to enjoy it. Thank you.